Yes, don't you clearly remember him saying, Marty, we have to get back to the Federation, while he glowing eyes murdered all of the younglings. What's up, y'all? Good to see you. Good to fucking be here. I was so tired and I was not feeling it this week, but man, we back. Good to be back. Oh, it's been a fucking weird week. It was hot last week. Now it's a normal fall temperature. And man, is it nice to not be sweltering, because this fucking computer bakes my room. It's not the business. Truly. You know, people think of him as this great mediator and you know, a leader in the face of such trying times. They forget the whitewashing of the Picardian genocide of, I don't know what star date that would be. We got a lot of stuff we're gonna look at. We're gonna look at some newsy articles and stuff and newsy videos like we used to as well. We're gonna start it off with Wolf 390 through 59. There you go. Yes. Engage, number 1. Please murder all of the tiny ones. That's like the darkest timeline, Picard. Where he has like not only a mustache, but probably a full goatee and like a ponytail or something. And all of it is just evil. Maybe we'll watch some Star Trek sometime on stream. I feel like it's not underrated by any means by those who actually know, but like in this day and age, I feel like there's a lot of people who like, a lot of the younglings, a lot of the Zoomers don't know the difference between anything anymore. They're like, Star Trek, Star Wars, it's all lame nerd shit. Okay, let's do the connections and we'll do the Wordle, and then we'll see how Israel can't keep their fucking weaponry out of other countries, and apparently UN peacekeepers are not even safe from the joys that is an escalation through a de-escalation through escalation. I think we got a couple of last week tonight's, couple of Johnny Harris videos. I think we have new internet comment etiquette, stuff like that. We have a banger of a headline from Politico, which I don't think actually fucking has the seriousness that they probably want it to have, but hope you all are doing well. Hope it's a good start to the weekend. It's Fleet Week here, which means the Blue Angels have been propagandizing the skies with their noise, much to my chagrin. Swim, splash, dip, dive. Maybe. Nice. Chutzpah. Relish, savor, value. Maybe not value. Extra bonus frosting gravy. And then treasure. Yeah, that's smart. Treasure, relish, value, savor. You treasure it. You treasure your nerd culture like it's going out of style. And you have the nerve, the cheek, the sauce, the brass, the chutzpah, the cojones, as it might be. I had a fucking hair stuck in my throat, or like all of yesterday, like wee hours of the night, and then most of today. I'm pretty sure it's finally gone, but I keep like paranoidly my paranoia over feeling something in my throat is just like, oh, it's still there. It's fucking driving me nuts. Not the business. All right, we did that. As always, weary. Wow, that's really unhelpful. Towley. That would be great if there was an extra letter. I'm probably missing a letter. I'm gonna do a dab. Have our soothing music to soothe our way out of this fucking non-soothing world these days, man. Every fucking 5 seconds, I'm like, when are we like actually on the brink of nuclear disaster? Because it's fucking feeling like it. Maybe I'm just pessimistic, but man. Also, it's Anakin. It's actually Anakin Skywalker with laser eyes. From what one could argue, I would say the best of the prequel trilogies, in the form of Revenge of the Sith. I think that's the best of the original three. Not that I don't enjoy the original three, especially now that those newer Star Wars movies are out and are just ass. And it's like, it'd be, and that's fair. I'm a big fan of both Star Wars and Star Trek. Star Trek is objectively more like, generally like, just better quality. Star Wars does entertainment for the masses somehow. I don't know, George Lucas has never been a good director, but he was always a pretty good storyteller. And, you know, even though the entire plot of Star Wars is basically fucking, you know, American imperialism oppressing like the Viet Cong, people didn't get it. They still loved it. They lapped that shit up. That, and he gets to work out his daddy issues with his dark father. Oh, thank you. That's actually a good guess. It's probably maybe not that, but that's interesting. So what could my next guess would have been like pull, I mean, Now, what I'm also thinking in my throat, musty. I like it. Not rusty, Maybe Dusty, though. Not Dusty. Busty? Are they really gonna have Busty? If I don't get this, I'm gonna be kind of like, it's not gonna be like Gusty, is it? They wouldn't really do that. That would be annoying. Are you fucking joking? With the fucking hurricane going on, they did Gusty? I hate them so much. I hate them so much. The fuck, man? Fuck the New York Times. I swear to God. I don't know who makes this shit, but like the fact that like I could get even like I'll die on the hill of having Busty be my last guess. That's fine. I'm down. I'm down to be that way. I accept who I am. They some musty ass motherfuckers over at the New York Times. Ugh, okay. Let's see what the BBC has to say about it. Perfect timing on the song. I love that the song is exactly 4 minutes and 20 seconds long. Nice. All right. Give me some stale report on something that is actually should be viewed as catastrophic. UN warns humanitarian law breach. Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, well, it would help if I unmute it, but you know.
Let's return to that news that broke a couple of hours ago, because a UN commission of inquiry says Israeli attacks on the healthcare facilities in Gaza are deliberate and amount to war crimes and crimes against humanity. The report.
Where have I heard that before?
And other Israeli and other hostages in Gaza have been subjected to abuse in captivity, and said Hamas had also committed war crimes. So let's head to Jerusalem and the BBC's John Donaldson. And John, tell us more, first of all, what was actually outlined in this report, the detail?
Well, it's pretty damning. I mean, this report has been authored by Navi Pillai, the former UN Commissioner for Human Rights. She's going to present it to the United Nations later this week. But as you say, it not only accuses Israel of systematically targeting Gaza's medical infrastructure and its staff, but it even goes on to say that Israel's military has deliberately killed medical staff and submitted them to torture. Now, in the past, the BBC has carried out investigations that medical staff from Gaza have been abused while in detention, in Israeli detention, and we have found evidence that that has indeed been the case. Israel, on those occasions, has said it's investigating. It also, as you say,
always investigating itself, but it's never actually actioning any of those investigations. It can't be trusted to.
Still being held there.
And John,
it's like policing in the United States. Like you can't trust them to investigate themselves.
There hasn't been any yet that I've seen, but you know, the UN Commission for Human Rights is basically a body that Israel.
Did I do a bad thing? I don't know.
Its criticism in the past has been roundly rejected. Israel denies a lot of those accusations.
Of course.
Denied the accusation.
Wasn't me. They're trying to pull the fucking Shaggy routine.
War crimes. So I've not seen any reaction.
When you come and doing bombing, wasn't me.
Holiday this weekend in Israel, but I imagine when it comes, it will be pretty scathing of what Navi Pillai has had to say.
All right, John Donaldson, live for us there in Jerusalem. Thanks very much. Thank you. Now, elsewhere in the Middle East, the UN says 2 peacekeepers have been injured in South Lebanon after Israeli forces fired a tank shell at a UN watchtower.
Which is
Italy,
wild.
Which contributes soldiers to the UNIFIL force, denounced the incident as totally unacceptable and has lodged a protest to Israel. Well, it comes as Lebanon says 5 health workers were killed by an Israeli airstrike last night in the south of the country, bringing to about 50 the number of emergency workers killed in the past week. Israel says it only attacks military targets.
Yeah, it's been saying that for over a year now. Well, actually, for many, many years.
Israel's evacuation orders. Well, my colleague Anna Foster is in Beirut, and she's been speaking to the spokesman for the UN peacekeeping mission, UNIFIL.
We are deeply concerned, alarmed. We have been deeply concerned for days.
Just days, Andrea? Come on, man. Like, this is why I haven't covered this shit in a while, because it's been more of the same for the last year. Just like nothing changes. There's continuing violence, continuing genocide of the Palestinian people, and just like, now we're in Lebanon. Like, what the fuck?
For months, but now it's very serious because we are there to ensure stability.
And they're shooting UN peacekeepers. Like, come on.
But targeting peacekeepers, it's a grave violations of international humanitarian law. Is also of a violation of Resolution 1701. So this is very serious. It's important at the moment to have a discussion, a conversation with Israeli authorities to understand what happened, because as you mentioned, 3 positions
they shot a tank shell at you.
Were injured while they were in
nothing
one
else
of
to
these
understand.
Towers inside the headquarters of UNIFIL, and luckily they were not seriously injured, but they could have been much more serious. And also what happened in the other areas where they hit close to a bunkers where peacekeepers were inside. So it's very serious, and we need to discuss with the parties, but also it's their responsibility, their obligation to respect our troops.
I think it's worth, for clarity, saying as well, these are not areas that could be mistaken in any way for Hezbollah positions. These are positions which have existed for a long time, which are very clearly UN ones.
These are very well-known positions.
Yeah, I know. I remember. God, what a fucking time.
In Nahura is a huge base. Is the headquarters where the force commander, head of mission, is located.
I still remember that. This shit was crazy.
Area where we used to have meetings.
To see it happening live, to see like the banner on fucking Al Jazeera change in front of my eyes and like recognize it.
The blue line. That's almost on the
blue line. It was wild.
And the other position the same. So all the positions are very known and they've been there for many years. So this is concerning. It's also
UN peacekeepers wear blue fucking helmets. They wear like, what is it, like robin's egg blue or some bullshit like that? It is the most identifiable military peacekeeping force, whatever the fuck you want to call it, in the world. Nobody looks like that. Nobody wants to look like that. So when you shoot at them, you have to fucking know who you're shooting at. It's not a fucking mystery. Like, I've also seen a ridiculous uptick, and there were like entire threads about it, like a ridiculous uptick in crazy statements from like Israeli accounts talking about like killing all of Ireland because the Irish people were like standing with Palestine. It was wild.
Also concerning that
the colonization of Ireland. I'm like, Jesus Christ, they did that already. It's not happening again. Good luck.
It was decided to stay. We need to have the UN flags flying there and to continue to work according to the Security Council resolution, and the Security Council will decide what to do further, but we are there. We are trying to monitor as much as we can, although the situation has been very challenging.
Are Israeli forces in contact with UNIFIL? Are they trying to make any efforts to deconflict?
They don't care.
That are happening there?
Well, the communications channels has always been open with the parties, with the Lebanese authorities, and with the IDF, and that's very important. So the communication is still ongoing, and that's why it's important to find out what happened. It's important to be operational on the ground. It's important for our troops to be able to monitor the situation. And at the moment, it's even more important to assist the mission to open humanitarian corridors that has been very challenging in these days. There are thousands of people that are stuck in the south with very little food and water. So we need to provide that kind of assistance, and this assistance can only be given if there are reassurances that there will be no shelling when we deliver these basic needs to the population.
Well, that's a well cut video, BBC. Really doing the Lord's work there. It's just insane to me that we're even in this position at all. Like, The fact that the Pentagon has to respond to these kind of reports, also because they're basically the handler of this uncaged fucking military animal that is just trying to inflame and engulf the entire Middle East in conflict right now.
Today we saw, or the UN peacekeeping force in Lebanon said that the Israeli army military deliberately targeted their bases, their watchtowers on multiple occasions in the past 24 hours. There was also videos that the Israelis destroyed a Lebanese army watchtower in the south. In the past couple of days, we've seen Israeli military plant an Israeli flag inside of Lebanese territory, on territory that's not disputed between the two. Homes of U.S. officials, current officials, of relatives, excuse me, of the U.S. People serving in the U.S. government have been destroyed. Indisputable evidence that there's no Hezbollah weapons there. So how do you square that circle in terms of the support for what you guys have said is Israel's limited ground operations? Or do you condemn any of these that I just mentioned, or do you believe that these align with U.S. interests?
Yeah, thanks, Joseph. So lot to break down there. So first of all, as it relates to the reports that you highlight in terms of UNFIL or LAF, certainly those reports are concerning. I don't have any information to independently corroborate those reports. I'd refer you to the IDF to talk about their operations in that regard.
No.
Certainly
No,
you do not want to see.
You can't refer somebody to the, hey, IDF, did you attack targets you're not supposed to attack? What?